Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Rare Book Cafe, the book lovers' rendezvous. And welcome to my co-host, Linn, Ridge Books, Calhoun, Georgia. Hello, Lee.
Good morning, Ed, and good morning, Gigi. We're so glad to have you back.
Thank you. Good morning to you both.
One of our favorite guests who's always so knowledgeable, especially during this a month of African American history. Gigi, best of the best, Richardson, African Diaspora Literature and Cultural Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. St. Augustine, Florida. St. Augustine, Florida. Gosh, I got the name right and the wrong location wrong this time. I'm going to get it one of these days. So you're all settled into the new place?
Almost, not quite. You know how it is in the book business. We still have books in storage, so we're still trying to get, them over here, and readjust to make room to get them over here. But we're pretty much together.
Well, the outside of the building looked good. The pictures you showed us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the all important parking lot, which is probably the most wonderful thing about your location.
Yes, it's funny.
Lee,
Pardon
speaking
me?
of the book business, Lee, I wanted to show you both my first acquisition as I move into the world of bookbinding.
Okay.
Check this out, an antique wooden book press.
Oh, that is really nice.
Isn't that cool?
And it's so pretty. It's just
I'm so excited to get to work.
Wow.
Well, we're excited to see what you do with it.
Gigi, the reason why we invited you specifically this African American History Heritage Month is you're going to share something with us about a significant part of Southern cultural history, the Gullah Geechee people of the islands off the coast of this southern portion of the United States.
Right. The Gullah Geechee, it's been designated as a heritage corridor by the United States. And so it reaches from Wilmington, North Carolina, down here to St. Augustine, Florida. And the interesting thing is, I am a descendant of a Gullah Geechee. My ancestor, this particular ancestor, Hamilton's, came from the right outside of Hilton Head is a tiny island called the Fusky Island. Have anybody ever heard of it?
Oh, yes.
Yes. The Fusky is a beautiful island and you can't drive cars. You have to either take a golf cart or walk. And you have to get a boat out to the island. There's no other way. There's no highways and cars aren't allowed there. And then Skip is descendant of the Gullah Geechee. His ancestors were in Liberty County, Georgia. And we actually found the church that his great-great-grandfather went to and his great-grandfather. And it was just rewarding.
And Liberty County is a very important county in the history of Georgia.
Yes.
And a lot of written material coming out of Liberty County. It's a really interesting location.
Yeah, and when you think about the fact that the program we're going to have to honor and African American history, and we're not calling it African American History Month. It's going to be in March. So a lot of people are doing things for African American History Month, but this city has so many things going on that we didn't want to contradict with the other things. So we're actually having our event on March 9th.
And
that's right
looking
around the
at
corner.
looking at your list of things you're going to do, it's just amazing how you were able to get all these folks to do all of this in one day. And I just, oh gosh, I wish I could be there. But I don't think the week after the Florida Book Fair is going to be possible. But it just looks fascinating. What are some of the things that you have going on March the 9th? Is it the 9th?
9th, yes.
9th.
One of the things that is our center attraction, and one thing I'm so hyped about is because I have tried to get this group here for years when I was in Tampa, whatever. And so I wasn't able to afford them. But one good thing that has happened, I expressed that I wanted them here, even if I had to pay for them out of my little bit of savings. And so I was just determined. And now we are working hand in hand as partners with USF Tampa.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. And so Dr. Her last name is Horge Friedman, and she is a professor in the social justice area. And she came over to visit, and she found us, and we start discussing things. And before you knew it, it turned into this event, which I am very excited about.
And I think some of our viewers may not know what USF stands for.
Oh, University of South Florida.
Right.
And so they've really been awesome. As you know, it's difficult when, like you say, when you're trying to pull all the lists together. I was a special events coordinator in both in Turkey, marketing director in Turkey, but a special events coordinator when I was in Korea. And I had to program for 900 military and their spouses. It wasn't many spouses there. So these are the kind of things that I'm used to doing and I enjoy doing. So anybody who don't know about the Gullah Geechee Ring Shouters, they come out of McIntosh County, which is about a couple of hours, 2.5 hours from here. But they're world renowned. They've performed for the Queen of England. They've performed in Germany, all different places across the world. So for me to
Gigi,
get
I
them,
have to admit I'm ignorant as to what a rain shouter is. Tell us a little bit about their skill or their presentation.
okay, so the ring shouting is a tradition that came from Africa. So like when people are having a good time, or I tie it more to like a church dance. My grandmother, the first time I saw her quote unquote shout, I didn't know what was going on. So I started crying. I was about 5 years old, and I had always went to church up north and to a Methodist church. And then I ended up at a holiness church down there. But the ring shout is a form of expression of happiness and also education. As they are shouting, which is going around in a ring. That's why they call it a ring shout. And they're expressing different things and telling different stories about somebody on the porch or but
It's all
it's
spontaneous. There's no
yes.
routine. Everyone is different. Is that right?
Yes, yes. And each event where they do, perform in schools, they perform in churches, all over. And so it's just wonderful to be here and I've seen them at different locations where almost, like you hear people that are groupies. We're almost like the ring shouter groupies. If we hear their if we hear they were just recently celebrating their second anniversary and of the Gullah Geechee corridor, and that was in Beaufort, and we went over to Beaufort. They were in Hilton Head, and we started seeing them many, many years ago back in Hilton Head. So that's where we were first introduced to them. But what they do is unique. It's very
Well,
awesome.
you're going to have to take a short video for us, and hopefully we can post it on a future show.
Yes,
I,
I'm
for
gonna
one,
have
would certainly
somebody.
like to see. Please do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have somebody do that. And then the other thing, because we're a bookstore and because we care so much about rare books, then one of the things I'm going to show you a couple of books that we have on the Gullah. This is one of them. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Who
about,
did the artwork on that?
let me see.
That's
It's beautiful.
that is beautiful.
Um, Let me see. It says Charles River Editors, but you know how it usually gives credit for
Yeah,
the art on the front? It's not, it doesn't
yeah.
do that. No.
It just reminded me a little bit of maybe Jacob Lawrence, but I don't know.
Yes,
It would have
yes.
been, yeah.
And then this is one too, um, where my family is from is the Defusky, which is right off of Hilton Head. But this particular book, it's called Gullah Days, Hilton Head Islanders Before the Bridge.
Mm.
So they built a bridge that cut off a lot of the islanders. So, and they're trying to take their land um, with taxes. And so this book was written. So Emery Shaw Campbell is a man who is he was born there, raised there, and he has a travel like bus service that takes you all around. And this is Charleston, of course, is a central part of the Gullah, and this is a Gullah guide to Charleston, and it's like a walking guide. And one more book I want to show you. This is so interesting because it's Gullah Home Cooking the Defusky Way. And I call this author up and I was going to have her here with what else was going on, but her schedule didn't meet that. But when I started talking to her about the Fusky Island, and if anybody remember the book written by Pat Conroy,
Right.
yeah, so he endorsed that for her. So that's where he was teaching on the Fusky
Right.
Island.
Do you have a
So
favorite recipe from the book?
um I can tell you, let me see.
Are you going to be having any food at this event?
Um, Yes, we're actually having a Jamaican food truck.
Oh, okay.
And so one of the things that is interesting about this event is, you know how we're the museum, um probably my favorite is the Cooper River smothered shrimp.
Mm,
Ooh, ooh.
sounds
I
good.
love shrimp. They have a the fusky catfish, but I don't care much for catfish. So this lady is very famous too. Not only is she a famous chef, but she also is a historian, and she's trying to save her family's house there on Defusky Island, which is a colonial house. And um,
Well,
she's
while
trying
we're
to get,
talking about food and the traditions of the Gullah people, let's remind everybody that the Gullah people today are descendants of the slaves who worked the rice and the indigo and the cotton plantations along the coasts of South Carolina, and mostly along the coast of South Carolina and Georgia. But they were also had a tradition of handicrafts and artisan works. Do you have any of those things in your museum, Gigi?
yes, this is one of the baskets. This is a Gullah Geechee basket. This one was made in Charleston, South Carolina, and this one was made in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, the in the history of the baskets, one thing that we've discovered is that the some ladies, a whole group, and Emery Campbell was one of them, went to Sierra Leone and noticed that the baskets are almost identical in Sierra Leone as they are. So now, looking at the DNA, I have Sierra Leonean DNA, and they have proven, a lot of times they say, oh, the enslaved people had no skills. The Sierra Leoneans knew how to plant rice, and they brought that culture here. And they said they even braided rice in their hair because they were afraid that they were going to be hungry, on the ship and everything. So that rice culture made South Carolina rich, and in turn, the South rich and America rich. And so when you think of that, you think of the Gullah, because one thing about them is they were left, once emancipation happened, they were left to their own devices. So they kept up many of their African traditions. They weren't bothered in any way because they were either out working in the rice fields or they were shrimping. The other thing they did is crabbing and also oysters. They had a big oyster um, business that they kept up for many, many years until, like I said, now the taxes are running the people off the land. And
Lee,
this is
have you ever handled any material from the region, from the
Yeah,
Gullah
I
people?
have I have had several books, including a cookbook, but not that one. Uh and I was saying earlier I'm not sure what I have right now, but uh but it's a fascinating culture, and I do have a sweetgrass basket purchased on the streets of Charleston in the early 70s. And I was telling Ed earlier, it seemed horribly expensive, but my husband was a student and I was working and we didn't have any money anyway, so anything seemed expensive, at the time. But I treasure it, and it's a covered basket, about an 8 inches across, and then has a lid.
Yeah, I
uh,
have one with a lid, a
with the
round one
lid,
with a
and
lid.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful, and it's in my living room next to a Cherokee basket. But and for people who, you mentioned the Pat Conroy, that book was called The Water is Wide. It's made into a movie. And we had, it's an interesting book. It's an interesting book. It's interesting in the way two cultures met on
Hmm.
DeFusky when he was teaching there.
Yes.
Um, you know, we find out from you every time we have you, um, that is there anything you haven't done, and is there any group you are not related to? We've often, you know, tried to figure out, are we all related to you as well? Because we would certainly like to be.
It's
I'm going to
so
send you
funny.
some DNA.
Okay. It's so funny because I, I'm in several lineage societies,
Right.
and these are hereditary, have to be proven by, and this is even before the whole blood quantum thing, but by documents and wills. And I have to do um have elected to do a presentation next week, a week from today, um, at my DAR, and it's on the free men of color who fought in the Revolutionary War. There was over 6,000 of them, and they have
Wait a minute,
different
wait a minute,
stories.
wait a minute, wait a minute. DAR stands for the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yes.
How did you get in?
Is that supposed to be a joke?
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Tell me the background.
By my lineage, I am a best, Best. My fifth great grandfather is Benjamin Best. His
And
son,
fought,
he fought in the American Revolution.
son of a gun. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Now,
We
we've
always
had
learn
Gigi.
something new when we have you on the show.
Yeah, we've had Gigi trace this before, Ed. I don't know where you were,
I might have
but
missed it.
She
and what's going to shock him even more, Lee, is that is my European great grandfather.
right, right. I remember.
But what I'm going to be teaching about, and I have two of them. I've been in DAR over 11 years, and Benjamin Best, his son, Benjamin Best Jr., married Lemuel Hardy's daughter. And Lemuel Hardy was also a Revolutionary War hero. So I went into DAR at the same time with both of them. But since then, I've learned about my Forgotten Patriots. So the Forgotten Patriots were Melungeon, free people of color. Um, and when I say free, they were, some of them might have been indentured, but they were not enslaved. And so I have at least 5 of them that I can prove. So that's what my talk is going to be about with the DAR. Now, most of the DAR are aware of them because the Daughters of American Revolution um, printed a book. It's so thick, and it costs, I think I've seen them online for over $600 now. But it traced, and it's called Forgotten Patriots. So it's Native American and African American patriots who fought in the Revolutionary War. And
Oh,
there were quite a
fascinating.
few.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, before we let you go, I see you've got a lovely pair of dangly cowrie shell earrings on today. Is that also part of the Gullah tradition, the jewelry making?
Well, yes, a lot of people If you notice, our name of our museum is the African Diaspora Culture, Literature and Culture Museum. So we concentrate on the diaspora. So we sell earrings. These are made by the Maasai tribe.
Oh, those are so
These,
pretty.
yes, these here are made by the Ghanaians, people from Ghana. And I wanted to show you a couple of artifacts that we sell now. This is a headrest, and we have that in the museum. This is a slingshot, and you see it has the body carved in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have several things like that. Some we've bought, some the people have given us. But one of the things, I know we're getting ready to go, I do want to mention our event again on March 9th, and it's going to be from 10 to 5, and it's called Gullah and Beyond, Our History, Literature, and Culture, and is celebrating 450 years of St. John County history. So we're going to have a reenactor, we're going to have authors, the Gullah Geechee Ring Shouters, and Dr. Horge Freeman is going to be speaking about her book, Modern Slavery in Brazil. And another one of our writers is going to be speaking on the Haitian Revolution. So it's going to be quite an event, and we welcome everybody to come. It's free.
It's pretty.
Super. Well, we'll see
I,
if we can get our producer, T. Allen Smith, to put a little notice up on this after he finishes editing the show.
and
Okay.
I think I'll put one of your flyers in my booth at the Florida show,
Oh, that'll be
perhaps with
so
a couple
nice.
of Gullah related books. And
Okay.
you know, and that, because it's not that, you know, people who are coming to the St. Pete show, it's not that far to go to St. Augustine.
Right. And so one of the things that we are doing is tomorrow we have a new flyer coming out. The one I have now is just kind of generic, but USF will be sending me a flyer, and I will share it with y'all.
Okay, great.
And I wish y'all the best in this show. I know I
Thank
can't
you.
come
We'll
this
miss having
time.
you there.
I
Maybe
wish
one of
you
these
could.
days when we're both hale and hearty again.
Yes,
Get
definitely.
out. We're having to leave room in the back of the van for the wheelchair on this trip, and you know.
Oh, yeah. We had to do this. We just
So,
came back from New Orleans. And so he had to, but we took the scooter,
yeah.
and it got kind of cold there. And a couple times he rode the scooter.
Oh me.
It's always entertaining and educational to have you on the show. Just a reminder to everybody out there, Norlands is 2 syllables, not 3 or 4. It's just Norlands. Thank you very much
Nolan.
for that.
Yep.
And we wish you the best on March 7th, and we wishing you the best at the show.
Yes.
March
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
9th.
checking in, everybody.
March 9th.
March 9th.
Whatever
But
day
we'll
it
get
is.
it. We'll get it correctly when we edit the show here. We'll get it up there for people to know.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good seeing all of you again.
Keep
Okay.
smiling.
Okay.
That's it,
Bye-bye.
everybody. You can find us every week now. Lately, you've been able to find us a couple times a week on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or wherever good podcasts are given away for free. Thanks for joining us on the Rare Book Cafe, the Book Lovers Rendezvous.
And we are supported by the Florida Antiquarian Book Fair and Biblio.
Thanks, biblio.com. You guys rank. Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.